When I say that I don't have any time to knit, I don't most of the time mean like literally. I did have, I guess, slower moments or times when I wasn't doing much where technically I could have knit. But when I say I didn't have time to knit, it's usually more of like a capacity thing. Like, even if this is a time that I could knit, I kind of have to be in a headspace to do it. Also, I think a part of it is like, if I'm not fired up about my project, getting myself to sit down and like really work on them is difficult. And right now, I feel like I have no fun projects. I am working on my loopy stripe cardigan, which love her. I'm excited to finish, but I am using, so many different colors, and it's so many different like little balls of yarn. And now that the sweater is getting bigger, it's just not convenient anymore. And then I do have my Mew top, teeny tiny yarn, teeny tiny needles, over 200 stitches. I will not elaborate. I love a good worsted yarn. I love 6mm needles and up. A quick project you can do in like a week. Friend, you get what I'm trying to say, right? Okay, please tell me I'm not the only person in knit history to ever do this, but I did have my little halter tank on the needle. Who remembers her? I was excited to do the pattern. I'm literally going to take this off the needles to work on the exact same pattern. My biggest qualm was the yarn, really. I used the, what was it? I got it from Michael's. It was like the silky soft yarn by Loops and Threads. I got it from Michael's. It is rayon from Bamboo. I've really been trying not to just buy yarn just to have it. I've been trying to use stash, hence why I worked on the loopy stripe cardigan. I was working on the Mew top because I had the yarn for that. I bought, this one from Michael. But I don't know, something about this yarn, like, first of all, it splits like crazy, yo. Like, when I was reading the reviews on the yarn, that was like some of the like biggest concerns that were coming up, is that like the yarn splits, and it does split kind of crazy. And then also, I don't know, the color, I'm not really into it. I feel like I've mentioned quite a few times, but like, I want to knit things that I'm going to wear and things that are in my color palette. And I bought this yarn because out of all of the colors to choose from, I felt like the best one. Like, if I could choose a different color, I wouldn't have chosen this one. And so I was like, okay, we're gonna go back to our roots. This is my all-time favorite, what am I trying to say, like, natural fiber yarn that you can buy in the store. Okay, so I did make this halter top last year, and I absolutely love and adore her. I mainly wear this like around the house. My only issue is I don't really wear red. I've been wanting one in a color that I'm going to wear, like for a while. And so I started this blue because out of all of, the colors of the yarn that I saw, I was like, I don't want to just keep making things, in white. Like, I actually wanted a color, and this was my favorite color, but clearly I have not worked on this in weeks. And instead of forcing myself to do something that I clearly am not interested in doing anymore, I was like, what is going to guarantee that I finish this next project? And I was like, one, if it's something that I can wear and that I'm excited to wear, and if it's in a color that I like and am excited to wear, if it's on weight for yarn, and if I can use my 6mm needles. And I was like, what project could that possibly be? And I was like, we're gonna start the halter tank all over again, because when I made this version, I absolutely loved it. I had it the time of my life. We're gonna use the same yarn that we used in a different color, in a more neutral color, in a color that I know I am guaranteed to wear. I'm excited to start something new. I haven't casted on anything, or at least I feel like compared to before, like when I cast on something new weekly, bi-weekly, to not cast something new on for months, I feel like is a long time to me. I feel like one of the beauties of hand making your clothes is that they get to fit, you specifically. You make them just for you. And so, I don't know, I feel like made to measure patterns. I still have all the screenshots on my phone from the last time that I made it, so I'm genuinely hoping, that I shouldn't have too many hiccups, right? Like, I've made this pattern before. I have all of my original notes still. It's on weight for yarn. It's on 6mm needles. Like, I'm going into this with so much confidence, right? Right? I'm just taking all of these off of the needles because I need to use them. Am I going to return to this version of the halter top? I cannot say. I really cannot say. Even as I'm taking it off the needles, I feel like my gauge was way off because look how humongous this thing is. Now that I'm taking it off the needles, this wasn't even the size that I was trying to make. I'll probably, honestly though, just end up frogging this and using the yarn for something else. So the project is on scrap yarn. Sad that this didn't work out. When I first started this project, I was very optimistic and excited to kind of, I don't know, do something out of my comfort zone just a little bit. I think the lesson I have learned here is buy the yarn that you want, even if it's boring and you feel like all of your knits are starting to be one color, because that is clearly what you want to make and there's no shame in it. Rest in peace to this halter. She'll be missed. Maybe she'll be back, but I can't make any promises. I love a good knitting project that I can just put in my bag. I just whip out, you know, when I have like a couple extra minutes. And I haven't had one of those in a while, and I was like, no. I hope my smaller pair work because my larger pair of 6mm needles are literally connected to another project. I'm not in the mood yet to take this project off the needles. This is the bandwidth balaclava, my next pattern. Very soon I'm gonna lock in and get into pattern writing mode, but kind of not, you know, there yet. And so this is still on my needles. And so fingers crossed that this smaller pair works. I literally was going through like old pictures and videos that I took of this project, and I was like zooming in like, what needles did I use? What needles did I use? I'm hoping that it's gonna be smooth sailing. I will say the very first time that I made the halter top, I ended up making it too big, like the gauge was off. But once I figured that out, I was able to make this one that I love so bad. And basically we're just trying to recreate this. Yeah, we're gonna recreate this in black yarn, and it is still very hot outside. I will have something to wear for the end of the summer. 146 stitches on these needles seems a little bit crazy, but I guess we're not gonna know until we try. I'm gonna make my tail for long tail cast on like super long because to me there's nothing worse than when you're like on stitch, like once you're past 60, 70, and then you start feeling your yarn get shorter and shorter, and then you still have like 40 stitches to go and you're just like, ugh. I also hate though, like at the end when you have so much extra yarn left over, but like I'd rather have extra, like having to keep redoing the long tail cast on because you ran out of yarn. I hate it so bad. Wish me luck. 146 stitches on these little needles seems a little bit crazy, but that's what my notes say, and who am I to argue with the notes? The 146 stitches did fit on these needles. I'm going to join them in the round and then knit all the way around one time, count again just to make sure everything's okay. And then we are on our way. I'm just going to be knitting the body, which is a bunch of mindless knitting in the round. My goal right now is just to get this project to a point where I can work on it and not have to look at the pattern for just a little bit. We're going to join this in the round. I'm going to try my hardest to not twist any of these stitches. I am supposed to be going to the fair tonight. Hopefully I still go to the fair tonight, but we're gonna try to knit as much as we can until, you know, it's time to get ready and until it's time to go. I'm going to count 146 stitches all the way around, and fingers crossed that nothing is twisted and that my count is on. This is like the scariest part of knitting. I swear, like starting is the hardest part. My stitch count is correct. It doesn't look like anything is twisted. I really tried my hardest. So we're gonna keep knitting. I have a few rows of stockinette to knit before my first decrease. I'm going to knit a few of these rounds and then see if I can secure a washer and a dryer and knit a little bit more. I'm very excited. I'm very excited. I've actually, if you can believe it, out of all of my time knitting, I've never knit anything with black yarn. I've heard that it, like, sometimes the stitches are difficult to see, but I don't really know because I've never done it. So I'm going to see for myself, but a lot of my wardrobe is just like black and white and brown and like a lot of neutrals. So I am excited to knit this. Okay, I've done, how many rows have I done? It kind of is hard to like count the stitches with this yarn, especially with this light in front of me. So I think I'm on row number 8, and so there's 10 before the next step. It's actually time for me to go, so I'm gonna bring it with me. Maybe I'll knit a little bit in the car. How much knitting have I done so far? Honestly, I took the biggest break. Are we surprised? Are we even a little bit surprised? I had done like a couple of rows, and then while my clothes were watching, I was watching a YouTube video, and then I was watching more of the video than I was knitting, and I had a mini doom scroll session. Sorry. I didn't have any issues at the start. Like, my count was on. Nothing is looking weird, so we're gonna take our wins where we can take them. Okay, really quick, let me show you my outfit. I need to get out of here. Nearly whole outfit is thrifted. Yeah, get into it. Nothing too crazy. Here's my knitting. I think it fits in my bag, like, for the most part. Yeah, that's not too much, right? It's better to have it and not need it than really, really want to knit and then not have it. Okay, let's go.